John, good morning. Let's firstly get an update on Danny Rose. I believe he had a scan yesterday.
Good morning, Mark. He did. Danny's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks with a hamstring strain. As you can imagine, we're very disappointed. So's Danny, but he's a good healer. We saw that with his ankle. So it'll be 3 to 4 weeks, but the sooner he's back, the better.
Final thoughts on Macclesfield, John?
Well, it was a difficult game. The conditions were hard to play in. The pitch was very, very bobbly. Clearly, they've got some off-the-field issues that they're currently dealing with, and hopefully they come through that. But they probably aren't in a position to spend money on the pitch and different things. And we found it difficult to play on the pitch. But they were very strong, resolute, and I think speaking to their young manager afterwards, he is pleased with the squad he's got there, and he's hoping that somebody comes in, buys the football club, and he's hoping to add to that squad in January. But he was very complimentary about his players.
I'm sure after the game you heard the claim that the setup was too defensive, especially in midfield. How would you respond to that?
Well, going through the team, I think Conrad and the back three were very good, probably more from an out-of-possession point of view. We played with one sitting midfielder and two advanced, whereas Macclesfield played with two sitters and one advanced. So we were hoping to get more play in their half and their final third and create more opportunities. Because of the conditions and sometimes a lack of quality, we didn't get the ball in the right areas for long enough to have more waves of attacks, and we didn't get our wing backs higher to get crosses in, and of course we played with two centre forwards like we have for the majority of the season, whereas a lot of teams play with one. We've been more positive and attacking and played with two centre forwards. So to say that it was a negative setup, I'd disagree. If you were to say that both teams cancelled themselves out a little bit, that would be a fair assumption. We did look to change it in the second half, making 3 substitutions, but Danny going off obviously affected the last 10-15 minutes, and in the end I don't think it was a bad point.
One other claim this season, as again I'm sure you know because you hear the cries behind the home dugout, for instance, at home games, is that you pull everybody back for corners, and I know sometimes you like to explain things like that. Here's an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, so we don't always have 11 players back from corners, but if you use the Colchester game, for example, when some of the shouts were probably louder than previous games, we set up a certain way, and it's not something new, but Colchester had 2 players out taking the corner, which allows them to either play short or put the ball in the box. We send 2 players out to mark them. We have a goalkeeper in between the sticks and 2 players who are zonal markers, one in the front hole zone by the front post and one in the 6-yard zone. Both players are zonal, and it's their job to go and head the ball away. Their position's affected whether it's an in-swing or out-swing delivery, and it's their job to go and head the ball away. That's 4 players. We mark the player that goes on to our goalkeeper, that's 5 players. We also man-to-man mark the pod that go and attack the ball. That's 4 players. And then we mark the player that's on the edge of the box, because if you don't mark that player, he can land on the ball and cause problems. And that's 11 players. So if we could put an extra player on the pitch, it'd help, but we can't. And of course, that leaves the opposition with 2 players back. So it's the debate really is an interesting one, because you'd either have to sacrifice the front post zone or the 6-yard zone, and I think over a course of a season, if you do that, you'll concede more goals than you will from leaving a player up. When you look at top level football, it's something that the champions of Europe do in Liverpool, the champions of England do the same in Man City. And if you want a more kind of relative example, the top 3, the teams that are currently occupying the automatic promotion slots in Swindon, Forest Green and Bradford, they do the same. So it's not something that's uncommon or negative. It's something that a lot of teams do.